Wish I'd known. Right, so we're live. Just going to show everyone a bit of Whitley Bay. Hello everyone, this is Whitley Bay. There's a little lighthouse in the far field. Ladies, can we have... Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll come up. Huh?
They're just here. And the hats.
Oh, yeah.
Well, who else would it be?
They've got no energy. They'll be fine. That's the sun. Just do... Yeah, it's great. Just a little bit. He said, we know that you guys don't pose for trouble. She said, so we'll be saying different things to you. Do your turn. And I was like, oh, that's good advice. The thing is, I have been driving from Belgium and it was 11 o'clock at night, it's not quite dark. And that got into it. Now that I've stopped, I'm going to get that longer. So I scream. Really? She's going, I'm standing at the car screaming. She's going, do it. I'm screaming, and the Nico's going, what's going on? I'm like, okay. I should feel better than to listen to that woman. The car's quite old, and I don't think they're getting the updates. Oh, yeah. Oh. I'm excited. Yeah. That's the best bet, yeah. Over there, I said to my mum, oh, I don't think happy over there. I'm sure it's where not far away where the other maybe she kept saying, I said, we're finished tonight, it's over. I'm not going to listen to her. Rebecca, for about 2 years. But it's so satisfying. Yeah, beforehand.
Yeah, they all need to just... Well, they're not on the shot, are they, most of them at the left-hand side?
I'm no. That doesn't matter. Well, no, it just... I mean, I'm assuming they're for everyone. We...
They were in the shot.
We give them a little scan through. You can give them a scan. But...
The long leaves, the stretchy leaves, and the dog ran around it. You know, this she couldn't go out. Just take on her own with a walker. She was on the cyclist. Anyway, she survived. No, but my
I'm going to show everyone. So, over there, let me just show you, are the little TRA protest. You see? Oh. Just knocked the microphone out.
Hi, Kelly.
Hello. Oh, they're good, aren't they? How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Excellent. You don't have any of those with you, do you? Do I order online?
I do.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
For after, in the pub.
Great stuff.
So anyway, that's the TRA's little tiny protest. I should go and ask them really why they're here, but we'll leave it for now. Okay, shall we start, everyone?
Yes, it's all good.
All right.
All set.
Are you all right just to stand there so I can see what that's like?
The dogs are them and my doggies.
Oh, lovely. You stand up on the step. Thank you very much. That's perfect. As long as people aren't too tall, we'll be good. All right. That's on. That's on. Okay. Hello, good afternoon, Whitley Bay. All right, come in. If you're behind, come in the front. Okay, so if you're walking past and you have no idea what this is called Let Women Speak. We are a global women's rights organisation, and we promote the voices of women in a society in which many women feel that they can't speak about the things that they see before their very eyes. For people watching at home, there are a number of families, little children, so some of the words that I might normally use, I'm not going to be using today, and I would ask anybody who's coming to speak if you can just be mindful that there are children around, like lots of children, families trying to have a nice day. So some of the words we might use for male appendages, for example, we might have to rethink. That might change as we go on, it depends. But what we want to speak about as women is we want to speak about the fact that women aren't men, and men can't become women, and therefore no man is entitled, ever, to come into a woman's space, ever. So, and the reason we've come to Whitley Bay is, I think probably a few people that I've talked to, there's been a changing demographic in Whitley Bay over the last few decades, and it's got a little bit too woke for the northeast. And what we mean by that is that there are young women pretending to be men, and there are autogynephile fetishy men pretending to be women, and they're trying to completely uproot women's rights so that we're not allowed to talk about it, and that's what's been happening. So across the country, I, for example, would be a woman who was interviewed under caution by the police because I said it was wrong to castrate a 16-year-old boy. And I also did something called misgendering, which is basically I called a man, and I used he pronouns for that man. And because of that, I was interviewed a second time by the police. So we are in and then I had the police come into my house because I was untoward about paedophiles. So that's just a warning to you all. The reason we come and do these events is what was happening to women a lot is we were cancelled online for trying to speak about these things. So we would have all our social media accounts taken away from us when we tried to talk about this. And also, many police forces have the nonsense that is gender identity as a protected characteristic. So that's why we meet. And the first thing we do is we do this. Oh, what a day this has been. What a rare mood I'm in. Why, it's almost like being a... Well done, everyone. Okay, so I would normally start this by saying, no woman has a... And then I would say the word very loudly, P-E-N-I-S. And that's the sort of language that we would use here, like honest language. But I don't want to do that just because there are kids around. And I feel that we're going to get the message to their parents a lot quicker about the danger of what their children are learning in schools if we don't make their parents quite cross that we're using language that they don't want to listen to. So in schools in Whitley Bay, across the northeast and across the country, children will be learning that if little Tommy, age 7, comes back as Janet, I mean, they might choose a more modern name, I don't know. But if little Tommy comes back as Lila, say, that all the children in the class have to pretend that Tommy has actually changed sex and is now a girl. And they'll be learning that not just with actual examples, but they'll also be told that they can literally choose their biological sex. So it's a really dangerous ideology in which teachers will lie to you, parents, and tell you that they're not teaching that at school. And then what you can do to test my theory is you can go and ask your school for the syllabus and what they're teaching on bullying and inclusion. So all their bullying and behaviour policies, does it include the word transphobic, and what does that mean? You can have a look at what they're being taught in PSHE, and they will be taught that biological sex is a spectrum, and that some little girls are really little boys, and some little boys are really little girls, and then some people are in between, and some people are nothing at all. And if you think it sounds like nonsense, and they couldn't possibly do that, I agree with you on point 1, it is nonsense, but it genuinely is happening in all the schools in this area, including Catholic schools and private schools. There really is no escape from the cult. Then what you also have is you will have, and I'm very happy, grateful and thankful for the North East Police. Is it Northumberland Police? Northumbria Police for attending today and making sure that we do have our democratic right to free speech. But they know and we know that when it comes to some of their internal policies, that some of their people on big fat paychecks will pretend that they also don't know what biological sex is. That's not really anything to do with the police on the ground that are doing the hard work. That would be the staff, so police officers who say they're women, are women, or have a certificate that pretends they're a woman. And the answer resoundingly from Northumbria Chief Police is no, they don't. They see no difference. So what that means is that if you get arrested by Northumbria Police and the police officer is a man in a dress, then he's allowed to intimately search you. Your rights are always that you can refuse that search and you can ask for a different officer, but not many people know that. So you would have to see that officer and probably be accused of bigotry if you said that that officer was actually a man, you know, just because they had, oh, I don't know, a male appendage hiding in that skirt. So these policies are everywhere, and it can't be worse than the NHS, which I think there's a gender clinic. Oh, good afternoon. I think he said hi. It just began with a C and ended in a T. But I'm pretty sure he was saying, I admire everything you do. Thank you for standing up for women and girls. I think that's what he said. I guess it takes one to know one, doesn't it? But the NHS, I think there's a gender clinic, a so-called gender clinic, which will give puberty blockers to children in Newcastle. And then your NHS, like all other NHSs, they pretend that they don't know what a woman is, and they would use terms like chest feeder, birthing person. We recently had a story from a woman down south, and it's the same everywhere. And even when that woman lost her baby at 5 months, the NHS refused to call her the mother. She had gestational failure. It wasn't that her baby had died. She had gestational failure and her uterus had failed. But she wasn't called mummy or mother throughout that process. So even in bereavement, women are not afforded the language that we deserve, which is woman, girl, mother, breastfeeding. So I recently heard a prostate cancer kind of bit of information on the radio where it was directed at men, but cervical cancer literature is directed at cervix havers. So the people that have come to protest, they would like to shut down women's speech, and I'm really happy that they've come to protest so you can see exactly who opposes women's rights, and it would be those people over there. What those people standing over there think is that if a man says he's a man, if a man says he's a woman, that he is a woman, he's allowed to use every single female space, and if a woman objects, then she's a bigot. So that's what those people over there think, and in a way you can't blame them, because this is what happens when you have a school system that's been pumping their heads full of this nonsense for about 10 years. And you have big institutions that have a vested interest in totally undermining these children, often making them separate from their families because they get so upset that their mums and dads don't agree with them that they feel they've lost their relationships with their parents. So this is genuinely happening all over the country. And the reason we've come to Whitley Bay is we think maybe you don't know exactly what's happening in your children's schools and in your NHS and in your police force. So when you go along to your first maternity appointment, you're not called mummy or expectant mummy. You will be referred to sometimes as a woman, but also as someone who is pregnant. So that's what we're talking about. Anyway, Let Women Speak is about promoting the voices of women, specifically here in Whitley Bay, local women. So who would like to speak? Come on. Come on. Yes. Lindsay's ready if you want to. Are you coming, Lindsay? You coming? She's just arrived. Right, would you like to stand on this? You don't have to stand on the step. All right, is that okay? All right. Oh. There you go.
Okay. I have got a little speech. I might not show you all the pictures, bearing in mind the amount of children that are around. But I want to talk about schools. I'm from a group called Protect and Teach, who are very concerned about safeguarding in schools. And what we've noticed is that there's a rise in the number of men who leave on the summer and as a man and come back in September dressed as a woman and expecting the children to call them miss. And we think this is a huge safeguarding fail. So I've got some questions for you, a bit of interaction here. So here we have images of two people. Okay, now here's a question. This one with the long blonde hair, is that a male or a female? Female. Well done, 10 out of 10. Is the one on the other side, do we think that that is a male or a female? Male. Okay, now I will show you the visual aid. If we take their clothes off, have they changed sex? No. I am so pleased everybody's agreeing with me. Okay. Now, this is the dicey bit. Okay, think hard about this. If this one with the long hair removes her breasts, sorry children, does that make her a man? Does that change her sex? If the other one, this one, with the short hair, if he then grows, pays, or gets these cross-sex cross-sex tablets off the NHS and gets a set of breasts, which is their favourite thing to do, has that made him change sex and become a woman? No. Thank you. Oh, I do like an appreciative audience. Now, it's getting harder, you see. The questions are getting harder. So, if the one with long blonde hair, I'm sorry I couldn't do a picture with her hair chopped off. I haven't got sophisticated programs. If she puts on what would be considered male clothes of trousers from George, men's section, and a leather jacket from John Lewis, men's section, has she changed her sex? No. And if the man, if he puts on any form of dress, which is what women would normally wear, do we think he's actually changed his sex? No. Now the next one is really hard. If he grows his hair and puts on a V-neck t-shirt, has he become a woman? No! In Australia, might be a different answer, but no. So my question is, we have correctly gone through all these and we have agreed that you cannot change your sex. So my question is, why bleep are schools telling children that a man who comes in a dress should be referred to as a woman?
Because they're abusive.
Yes. Okay, for those not in schools but have got children in schools, these men are basically indulging in a form of immersive role play, to use Naomi Cunningham's phrase. It's actually a sexual role play. Yeah, because most of these men have decided to put on a dress because they've been watching pornography, and a specific form of pornography called sissy porn, where the men become sissies because they get dominated when they put on women's clothes. Okay, there is a huge sexual element behind these men putting on a dress, and it cannot be ignored. So the schools are asking children to validate these men. Now, if you've got children in school, you should be saying to the school, have you read Keeping Children Safe in Education 2024 or Keeping Children Safe in Education 2025? This is the safeguarding document every school, the teachers, the leaders and the governors are supposed to read and implement. The important bit is implement, and they're all basically ignoring it because part of it says children are not there to validate adults. Bridget Phillipson suggested they were when she said a man in a dress could be asked to call mix, but she is wrong. Children are not there to validate adults, and we should not be allowing schools to do this. It removes children's boundaries, it confuses them, it teaches them that women are nothing but a feeling in the head. It silences our children. It silences them because when you say they're getting told off for daring to say a man is a man, and once you start silencing them, they will be silent on other issues, which is where getting rid of the boundaries comes. And I'm going to stop there because I'm in the van enough now. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. To be honest, when she said V-neck, I did have to think really hard. There's someone up there with a sign that says Dykes for Trans Rights. So what that means... Go, ladies! Well done. What that actually means is that they don't know what a lesbian is. Because what a lesbian is someone attracted, two women attracted to each other, women being adult human females, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to erase what it means to be a lesbian, which is deeply homophobic, and they should be ashamed. as a 50-year-old woman, I know, it's shocking. As a 50-year-old woman, I just want to say that in the 90s, we had this thing called categories where we all understood what everyone was. And we were in a genuinely progressive time where most of us having children in the early 2000s, all we wanted for our kids is that they would not feel ashamed or worried about coming out as gay, lesbian or bisexual. That's what we wanted. That's what we all did. We all had casual conversations around our kids all the time so that if they were lesbian, gay or bisexual, that they would have no worries at all. They would just be able to just tell us and it would be no big deal. What these kids want to do is they want to make it, I can't hear you. Ashamed of what? What's a transgender person? Have you got walking sticks? They're yours. Right, I just want to say there is no such thing as transgender. There is no such thing as transgender. When someone says, I'm trans, what they're telling you is that they have a set of behaviours in which they want you to pretend that there's something that they're not. It's absolutely ridiculous. We don't want you to have to wear a binder. We don't want you to wear a binder and be like a 5'1" woman pretending to be a man when nobody believes you. We don't want young women to cut their breasts off, to take harmful testosterone that leads to Alzheimer's, chronic illness, brittle bones, osteoporosis, and deep anxiety that they never recover from. That their vocal cords get deep in a way that they sound like they're being strangled. And nobody believes that they're men. Nobody believes that you're a man. They all see a small woman with a personality issue. No one believes you with your scars. No one believes you. What we see is a girl that's been told a lie. That actually if she cuts her breasts off, she escapes misogyny. What a load of rubbish. You don't escape misogyny just because you cut off your breasts and take testosterone. You just delay it. And then when you're older and you have dementia or Alzheimer's, you won't remember that you pretended to be a man all that time. You'll just be devastated that you've got a hairy chest, a deep voice and no breasts. And every day someone will have to remind you that you did that to yourself. So that's what we're talking about. Trans rights is a behaviour. Trans is a behaviour. Men who call themselves trans women, they want access to women-only spaces, and the more upset about it you are, the better for them. It's all about their arousal. That's what it's about. But what's really concerning for parents, if you're walking past, is when your child starts nursery or school, the nursery or school will be teaching their children. Look, if you're walking past and you're a parent, you think, what is this about? Look at these collection of people here and think, do I want my child to actually grow up and be some kind of normal? Or does that look like the kind of utopia of where I want my child to lead? And the answer to that question is no. You don't want your child to be here trying to stop middle-aged women speaking on a Sunday afternoon. Middle-aged women who, predominantly middle-aged, apologies anyone, predominantly middle-aged women who want to come and talk about our rights and about our spaces and about the rights of our children. The rights of our children to have single-sex spaces where they feel safe. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. The people are united. The people. Yeah, remember them on those picket lines? Anyway, who else would like to speak? Yes, come. There she is. It's Lindsay. Let me give you a microphone as well. I'm looking forward to this.
Right, hello everybody. I don't really like doing these types of things, so it's probably going to be short and sweet. All right then, it's tough. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Lindsay Smith, and I am the woman who successfully took Northumbria Police, their Chief Constable Vanessa Jardine, to judicial review over their participation in Pride. And I won. I proved in law that participation in Pride is political, that it is unlawful for these police officers to do anything other than police the events. They should not be marching or pontificating to anything to do with that other side. It doesn't ensure that we, as sex realists, gender criticals, whatever people want to call us, we cannot trust the police force to police impartially if they are stood there marching and dancing with that militant flag. So now it's no more. They're not allowed to do anything. They're not even allowed to participate. They can participate in their own private capacity if that's what they want to do. If they're a gay or lesbian, bisexual police officer, no issues. Just make sure no one knows you're a copper. You know, it's as simple as that. You can't identify yourself as a police officer if you are going to participate in these events. My favourite thing about it is the fact that all those stupid rainbow vehicles are now gone. That was my ultimate goal, and I make no apologies for it. So, do you know what? Yeah, I would probably bank that most police officers are delighted that they're now not forced to participate in this nonsense. Police are there to police with impartiality, without fear or favour, and that is not just around the gay agenda, it is around everything to do with politics. We cannot have the police being seen to lean one way over the other, because that is how civil wars break out and the public start taking things into their own hands. That is why we're seeing more aggression, more frustration from your general British citizens at the moment, because we are seeing it everywhere, whether it comes to religion, whether it comes to this pride nonsense, whether it comes to any of it. Pro-Palestine, if you're pro-Palestine, pro-Israel, whatever it is, the police should be there to police impartially. So, sorry, not sorry, I'm the lady who did it.
You know that loads of them have got a pin-up of Lindsay in their lockers. She's like the hero of the police. We need the same in the NHS. We've got the Darlington nurses who I mean, the North East is having a great time, isn't it? So you've got the Darlington nurses who were forced to change in a changing room with a man who called himself, I don't know, some sort of lady, but he called himself a woman, and then he got the right to use a female-only space, and they were asked to use somewhere else because they felt uncomfortable. Oh, we got more people coming. Got more big... The lads are coming. Away the lads. Here they come. Don't look at... Kelly looks at me like, don't do a Geordie accent in Whitley Bay. And I just really, really want to. Away the lads. Sorry if that's probably the most offensive thing I'm going to say today for the people that actually live and care about Whitley Bay. So sorry about that. But I would think, lads, that you shouldn't really be wearing face coverings when you come into a protest. I would have thought that was not really okay to hide your identity if you're so proud of your opinions with your little surgical masks on, unless they're actually doing double mastectomies there at the side, which I don't think they are. So it's very funny. I'm going to show. We're going to show people. Let me just show the people at home. All the lads are about 5'1". It's odd. It's like they're not really lads. So there they go. There's Northern Bisexuals defending trans rights. I think that's what it says. So there they are. Can everyone see at home? Yeah. I mean, they're very well organised. There's someone wearing a nurse's uniform. I would have thought that was sackable. By the way, if that is a person in a genuine nurse's uniform, you can complain to the Nursing and Midwifery Council for them undermining trust in the NHS. So if they genuinely come in their own actual nurse's uniform, and also I would have thought there was a lot of things they could pick up on that uniform unless they boil wash it. That's all I'm going to say. So the nurses, the Darlington nurses, they are now taking the NHS to task for forcing them to use a tiny little room with a big window in it, whilst a bloke gets to have a jolly good time in the women's changing rooms. That also happened to a woman called Sandy Peggy up in Dundee at 555. Up in 5. I'm going to be in so much trouble. Kilcardy. Kilcardy. I'm saying it in an English accent, it doesn't sound right. Anyway, so she's taking them to task, and I think we're going to see a lot of changes by hook or by crook. I talked to a councillor from the Liberal Democrat she is, which won't surprise you, that she said it was complicated. It's now complicated that a woman is a woman in law. She's always been that. Oh, look, transmutilated Newcastle. I think that's what it says, transmutilated. Bless the little hearts. You can't do a sign, can you? It's absolutely transmutilated in Newcastle over there, if you want to see that sign. It's hilarious. So all of these women, we've had enough. Look, what the mistake that the whole trans ideology cult did is they targeted children and they targeted women at least perimenopausal, menopausal or postmenopause. And that was a big mistake because we don't actually take any of this stuff. We're a bit too grown up, bit long in the tooth, really couldn't give an F word about their silly wants and desires about being in our space. And to the young women over there who are wearing binders, it's very, very hot. Try and take them off, give yourself a breathe. But also, those men around you are using you because you enable those men to get into women-only spaces. I mean, he's very upset about someone. Go and tell your mum. Have a chat with your mum. You know their mums are all like, oh, they're going to be free. Oh, he's off his devices. Where is he? Oh, I don't know. I think there's a protest or something. I don't know whether it's a Palestine, some sort of omnicause, but he's very angry with me, so he's got the opportunity to go and shout at some middle-aged women and kind of vicariously have a go at me because I said that he wasn't allowed 3 Weetabix. So he's very, very upset. He knows what a woman is, right? It's just a load of nonsense. So just to remind everyone, we're here because in your schools, in your NHS, in your police service, in your councils, nobody seems to know what a woman is anymore. So we're here to come and remind them. And the lads have come out to protest. The lads will be the ones in skirts mostly, and the women will be the ones in tight sort of vest tops. You'll spot them because the women are usually about 5'1" or under. Anyway, anyone else like to speak? Yes. Oh, sorry, we're going to let Kelly. And then you.
Hi everyone, my name's Kelly and I live in Whitley. I've lived here since 2009 and I've seen a lot of changes over the years. And at first I didn't see the harm in what they were saying. I really just thought we should live and let live, and you know, but then I realised how harmful it is to women and children. And so I got involved in Let Women Speak. I started going to events. And then last year, I stood for Party of Women. So I stood in this area, the Tynemouth constituency, and I was really pleased because I didn't come last. So there was 9 candidates in the election altogether, and actually I came there was 2 people who came after me. So I got 268 votes, I think, and I was really pleased with that. And I think it just shows how much that's needed. And so, yeah, what I've realised is that women aren't able to speak. And that's the position I was in after I went to my first Let Women Speak. It was in Newcastle in 2023 in January, and it was absolutely freezing. And I commented on this Pink News article thinking, oh, they've got the wrong end of the stick, I'll just put them right. And I then got threatened by some big bloke who looked like a drag queen, which made me go, oh, what am I dealing with? So I was quiet until I stood in the election, and then I started speaking out. So yeah, it's really needed, and that's why you can see why it's needed. These people are, yeah, they've got issues, and it's really harmful. The word trans means lots of different things, and that's deliberate because they're trying to confuse you about what they mean. So I urge you that if you're walking past and you don't know what this is about, go and do some research and have a look, because it's the more you see, the more you realise how awful it is. I just was quite shocked when I started looking into it and realised how bad it was and how unhealthy it is for women and children and actually the whole of society, because we are being silenced. And just for Kellie-Jay, I have to say, how are the lads? You want your yeah.
Thanks very much. Let me just. There's in the schools, your children are going to be taught that they can choose their biological sex. And if they object to that, they might be called a bully. So they will be told by the teachers that they're wrong. They may be ostracised by their friends. And it doesn't stop there. They will be ostracised online. Well, that's because you're a paedophile, love. What a stupid thing to say. What a stupid thing to say. You love trans kids. What, you like mutilating kids? You like mutilating children. You like sterilising children. What a silly thing to say. Who walks past going, I love kids? Wow. What a crazy thing to say. I love sterilising children, she said. I like lying to children, she said. I like making children's sexual function disappear, she said. I love trans kids. What an absolute silly, silly, silly woman. Can I just say, she didn't sound like she was from Whitley Bay either, just saying. She didn't say like, oh, I love trans kids, me. No, she didn't. She said, I love trans kids. I love them. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a cohort of... What these kids want to do as well, what happens to women when they speak out, is these people over here, they will find out where you work, they will find out where you work, where you frequent, they'll try and get you cancelled from a pub, they'll try and kick you out of venues, which recently happened to us in Glasgow, because the Kenneth Williams lookalike, he didn't like our signs that said things like, I'm not a vet, but I know what a dog is, and women's rights are human rights. And so he asked us to leave the venue. The silly thing is he admitted it was about our beliefs, so we're going to sue them. But some men, some very weak, often very small men, they get very cross when women speak about this, and they start shouting at us from like in a crowd. They'll shout at women. They think that they can shout at women. And they can tell us that we're wrong when we say that when someone says trans rights, what they want is they want the right to enter all women-only spaces, and you're not allowed to tell them they're not involved. They can't come in. We've also got in the girl guides, by the way, don't send your children to brownies or guides, anyone, because the girl guides say that a man calling himself a woman can be a guide leader and can go on a residential with your little girl, and they won't even tell you that he's a man. They don't believe it's your right to know that he's a man. So I beg of you, anyone listening, whether you've got a uniform on or not, if you've got little kids, just have a look at who are the scout leaders, because some of the scout leaders like to go away cross-dressing too. But who are the girl guide leaders? And ask them about their policies, and then go and have a look on the Girl Guide merch store, where you can get lesbian badges, pride badges, trans flag badges, all on the Girl Guide store. So what's that got to do with Girl Guides, you ask? And I would say to you, yes, you're absolutely right. It's got absolutely nothing to do with Girl Guides. I was also cancelled from my recent doctor's surgery because I questioned the person behind the counter, a very buxom woman. I asked her why she was wearing a he, him pronoun badge. And what she... Well, because she was quite clearly a woman. Because she was quite clearly a woman, wasn't she? Silly. That's why. So she was a very buxom woman, you know, large breasts. That's what we say when we say buxom, don't we? Obvious. And she had a he, him badge on, and I said that that was inappropriate. And because of that, I was unlisted from my doctor's surgery. So it is discrimination. Oh, but what about trans healthcare? So it's all right for me, a perfectly normal woman, to be excluded from a health system. But when doctors don't want to cut the breasts off of girls, apparently that's a bad thing. So this is what, these kids are terminally online. They'll be the COVID kids, right? They'll be the COVID kids that turned into porn-sick kids over lockdown. And now what they'll think is that they can choose their biological sex. And why do they focus on that? Because they don't really have a lot else going for them. That's why. Because rather than achieve something, they just declare they are something, and they think that that's some sort of achievement. And why is that? Well, it might be our fault. We might have stopped making them do as they're told. We might be helicopter parents. We might have not said that no means no. And we might say whatever you want, you can have. And that's simply not true. You can't, if you're a man, you can't have a woman's space. If you're a man, you can't have women's language. And we are just not going to surrender anymore to you spoiled brats. We are going to take our stuff back. We're pig sick of you thinking that you can cancel us and silence us, which is why we're all here not in masks. Okay, who else would like to speak? Yes. That's a bit racist, isn't it? They're shouting, go home. It's a bit racist. It's a bit racist. Who's Jeff? They go, Jeff, go home. Jeff, go. Anyone called Jeff? Often they shout for Nancy, but today it's Jeff. There you go.
Hello, Whitley Bay. I'm Dalith. And I'm definitely a post-menopausal, no deleted word left to give. The ones that Kellie-Jay was mentioning last week in Glasgow, but also a few minutes ago. So, a bit about sport. Another place that men have thought, you know, they'll insert their parts into, let's say. I came to this gender show via a lovely man who wanted us all to die, very specifically in grease fires. Rachel, as he was then, McKinnon, a cycling cheat, came to my notice when a female mountain biker I followed declared something like, "Forget all the haters, you are a woman." I took a look and obviously saw a fat man, and the penny dropped pretty much immediately, like I'd hit some rubbish jackpot. Since then, seven or so years ago, various sporting bodies have been getting their acts together up to certain points, although it's shameful that any of them thought it acceptable to poo on 51% of the population by allowing men into the women's category. But remember this. Women have been specifically excluded from sports. For example, in 1921, the Football Association banned women from playing football in the grounds and pitches of clubs affiliated to the FA, stating, "The game of football is quite unsuitable for females and ought not to be encouraged." This ban stayed in place until 1972. You heard that correctly, 1972. Or how about weightlifting? Women's weightlifting only became an Olympic sport in the year 2000. And yet it was just 20 years later that a man, Laurel Hubbard, was allowed to compete in the female category because he had lady feels. This t-shirt is a wee tribute to the American weightlifter Sarah Robles, who instead of being asked about winning her silver medal, was asked about history being made by a man being allowed to compete in the female category, although that's not quite how the journalist framed the question. She paused, took the lid off her water bottle, had a sip, and simply said, "No, thank you." It is really not possible to overestimate the misogyny at the heart of sports governing bodies and, of course, the International Olympic Committee. They are gradually being dragged, kicking and screaming, to a greater and lesser extent into reintroducing some semblance of fairness and safety for women. But it's a fight far from over. You'd think the Supreme Court ruling has made things easy for them, but apparently not. Many are awaiting clarification. Of what I don't know, it couldn't be clearer. Some sports are just about there, while others think it only matters at elite level, and grassroots women and girls don't deserve fairness because men's hurty feels are more important. And the absolute villain in this respect is parkrun. First off, the parkrun initiative is, of course, brilliant. However, they not only have a blind spot in relation to women's basic right to fairness, but they actively promote gender identity ideology. Parkrun allows any man who says he's a woman to participate as a woman. And if parkrun truly was just a fun run in the park, as they now try to claim it is, it might not matter as much. However, although not officially a race, it has all the trappings of a competitive sport. Times are recorded and runners can compare the results with people through a mechanism called age grading. This is, of course, completely corrupted by men claiming to be women. Every week at each parkrun, there are first females and first males, except, of course, not all of those females are, of course, women. Men, quite simply, would not put up with such rank unfairness. Astonishingly, there is a women's parkrun record in Aberystwyth held by a man, but not any old man, a man who calls himself Lauren Jeska, who was convicted of attempted murder and sentenced to 18 years for a horrific attack on a UK athletics official. I should mention the reason he tried to kill the official was because he was questioning Jeska's eligibility in the female category in England athletics events. Parkrun seems perfectly comfortable with him retaining this so-called women's record. And yes, he is, or was, being held in a women's prison. I'm nearly done. So, absolute respect to elite runner Mara Yamauchi, marathon runner Mara Yamauchi. Yay! She's been absolutely tireless in her campaigning for fairness at parkrun, and for her efforts, she receives hate and abuse from the misogynistic nutjobs. Every week, she reports the unfair results at parkrun, and just last Saturday, on the 9th of August, she notes, at least 7 males ran in the female category in UK parkrun today. One got first female. His total haul of first female finishes is now over 70. Another got top in the female age category, and he holds several female age category records. Between them, these 7 men have bumped down 600 women last Saturday. So I'll stop there, but shame on parkrun and shame on the misogyny.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, sir.
Sorry, I'll do it.
Thank you.
Oh, God, I've got a feeling they don't follow me on Twitter. I'm not a feminist, boys. Definitely not a feminist, but they keep talking about my fashion as well, so thank you so much. I think that's what they keep shouting, something about fashion. More seriously, let me just say that these events are really, really important. So this is called Let Women Speak. We are a global movement of women that come and speak in public about the things that are impacting women and our children. So that might be the imposition of the transgender cult within our schools, within our hospitals, within our police forces, within our councils and within our government, and the layers behind government which really do make decisions in this country. And what these kids, what these very confused, silly kids don't realise is when they come out looking as they do, they just make sure that our message is really, really clear. And they do that because they call us names like fascist, and then normal people walking by are like, what? What do you mean they're fascist? Oh, I'm going to have a look at this thing that's called fascist. And then they'll hear someone say, well, a woman is an adult human female, and we think we should have the right to be able to say that whenever we damn well please. And these spoiled kids thinks that we shouldn't be able to say this. In fact, they don't just think that we're wrong. They want to destroy our lives. They want to cancel us from our jobs. They want to make sure that we can't walk about this world without harassment. They want to make sure that when we come in to speak about this in public, that we are too afraid to do so. And for some women, they won't be here today because there's a woman, for example, who works in the NHS. She's got a senior nursing position, and she's been told by her friends they're booing the NHS. So that's an old one, isn't it? I bet they were vaccinated right up to their necks. So they will, that woman was told by friends, colleagues, and her husband, please don't go because you might lose your job. If you are spotted at an event speaking about women's rights, you might lose your job. They'll make it difficult for you in your job. And that is what's happening in the NHS. That, for example, if you want to go and use a female changing room, and you are having a bit of a women's issue, a bit of an urgent women's issue, at that point, you can't even ask the doctor that shouldn't be in any nurse's changing room, let alone a female nurse's changing room. You can't ask him to leave without you then being persecuted in your job, which is exactly what happened to Sandy Peggy. And it's absolutely shameful that women have to continually try and fight for our rights that we fought for again and again and again. Because these insane children think that there's some credibility in saying that women shouldn't speak. And I would just ask all of you passers-by, look at two groups. There's this group, and then there's that group. And do you want your child to grow up in a society full of that group or full of this group? And I think most of us want our kids to be able to pay a mortgage. So they're going to say this group, and they're not going to say that group. That group are the people that in the HR departments have been making your lives hell. They've been trying to force you to wear a pride lanyard or a trans rights lanyard, that you have to put pronouns. They think they're in America, don't they? This is Whitley Bay. Whitley Bay. I don't know why. Oh, thanks. Oh, that's so nice. They really do boost my ego when they use my name, so thanks very much, all of you. Like the narcissist in me is just delighted just to stand here, and you've all come out for me, so can we just say thank you, because they make our jobs easier. Ready? Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. And can I say to the young women over there, you may hate us, all middle-aged, wrinkled women, you may hate us, but you will become us. And I'm just going to tell you, it comes a lot quicker than you realise. 1 minute you're there with your youthful beauty and men in the palm of your hands, and the next minute you're being ignored and you're being asked, your husband's next to you, and someone goes, what would your wife like to eat? It comes real quick. That minute that you take your child to school and you're no longer Kellie-Jay, you're someone's mum. And you remain someone's mum for a really, really long time. But I just want to say to you women, over there, you're like the Iranian morality police. That's you. That's your role in society, to try and tell women that refuse to be compliant that you're going to report them. You're going to come out with the men. And I'm also going to tell you, if you've decided to have a double mastectomy and then you have children, the pain that you will experience is something that you have no idea about. The pain of early menopause, when you're 25 and you've taken testosterone and your cervix fails and your womb fails and you need to have it removed, and you're closer to osteoporosis, you're closer to Alzheimer's. When that time comes, and it will, and you realise that you've made a catastrophic error, all of us women will be here with open arms, welcoming you back into the sane world of womanhood. And to all you men, we won't. You're not welcome now, you won't be welcome then, and there will be no forgiveness, no matter how much you regret it. Once you've stepped on our toes, there is no forgiveness. For everybody walking by, the main motivator for any man over there wearing a dress is arousal and fetish. They're not confused. It's not like the girls who are just self-loathing idiots. They are fetishists. They might as well be standing there in a nappy, to be quite honest. Okay, who else would like to speak? Yes. I always forget how tiny you are. You're so tiny.
I'm not going to grow now either, am I?
Oh, thank you. Hang on. They just said that I remind them of Marilyn Monroe.
Yay! Woo!
So kind and generous of you. And you can have all the caveats, but that's still the woman you went for. So thanks very much.
Hi everyone. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that's organised. Thank you to Kellie-Jay for coming. Thank you to Lindsay for everything. Thank you to Whitley Bay for being beautiful. I wasn't going to speak today because I'm from Doncaster, and I thought it's only fair to let the women of Whitley Bay speak first, but I felt so sorry for that young woman that stood up there that had obviously removed her secondary sexual characteristics. She nearly broke my heart. And I want to say to those young women, you are being used. The whole trans movement is about fetishistic, perverted men. And in order to make everybody think they've got to be kind and nice and accept them, they are using young women, they are using our children to make everybody think this is some kind of lovely, fluffy, furry movement. Do not listen to them. The trans movement is all about fetishistic, perverted men. Now, on a happier note, I'd like to say, since I stood in the election in Doncaster last year, I do see things getting better. The happiest thing I can say to you today is that we live on Turf Island and not in Australia. So thank goodness for that. I am seeing things getting better. I spend altogether too much time on X, and I don't get abused half as much as I used to, so there's that. But since we had the Supreme Court judgment, yes, things are changing, things are getting better, but they're not getting better quickly enough. The government, the services, shops, Marks and Spencer, I will mention you by name, Marks and Spencer, you're all failing to implement the judgment of the Supreme Court. So I say to everybody here today that's fighting, keep fighting, because we are winning and we will get there, but we're not quite there yet. Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you very much. Oh, okay. So to the passers-by, we're here. We're called Let Women Speak. We're a global movement of women who want to speak about the issues surrounding predominantly the gender cult. And the people who belong to the gender cult would be those people over there. They would be those people. I haven't even paid them to do, but they are they're right on the money, aren't they, every time? And what those people do when they come out is they just make normal people go, oh, well, I don't agree with that. There's no way I'm on that side. And you would be right. It's not the only issue that Let Women Speak speaks about. Obviously, right now, we've got an issue with the safety of women and girls because of migrant hotels and this silence around that. And I think they might live in them, I don't know. And what we want to do is we want to make sure that women can say the unsayable, that it's no longer, it's not a bad thing to say things. You can say things that are wrong, if you like, too, in public. That is your right. We said, we can't hear you because you've just got no energy. It's probably the binder, but you've just got no energy, so we can't hear you. Trans liberation, what does that mean? That means a man's right to measure your daughter's breasts at Marks and Spencer's. That's what it means. That's what trans liberation is. So these are the things you've not been allowed to talk about, and I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So what we stand for is that schools are not allowed to teach transgender ideology at all, not at all. They're not allowed to tell your child it's a real thing, not at all. We want to make sure, and this is helped by Lindsay Smith, that the police are impartial, that you don't know the police officer's view when it comes to this particular issue, but also that they tell the truth. So that's one thing we want to make sure, that a police officer, I don't think there should be a single police officer serving in this country who doesn't know their biological sex. I don't think there's a doctor or a nurse that should be allowed to work in a hospital where they don't know their biological sex, and I mean the same for teachers too. Can I just say, Kelly, you were right, it is boiling. It is boiling. Kelly said it was cold in Newcastle, and she was right. A couple of people had coats on. So, but it's so lovely here in Whitley Bay, and it's such a shame that in these sort of places they often get forgotten when people do movements and try and talk about reaching ordinary people. But I want to tell the ordinary people of Whitley Bay that transgenderism is a cult. And if your work, try and insist, I mean, look, they're in unison. I don't even need to say it, just look over there. And if you've brought your minor child to this, shame on you. Shame on you, you're a bad parent. If you have brought your child to a trans event, you're a terrible person who doesn't understand the safeguarding of children, and you probably spend too much time on Instagram, so you need to stop it. Can't hear you. I just can't hear you. You're just not loud enough. It's the mask, you silly man. So if you've brought your child and you're pretending to your child that they're not the sex they are, you're a child abuser. Oh, what a day this has been. You're a child abuser if you pretend to your child that their biological sex is not what they actually are, and you need to stop it. You're a toxic, child-abusing parent. And any teacher that's doing this in school is also guilty of child abuse. We need to look, we got kids in this country that can't read. Rather than breakfast clubs, I'd rather have the truth told in schools. I can't imagine the impact of this whole generation that's been lied to for the last 10 years, where they can't trust adults anymore to tell the truth. I'm not a feminist. They keep shouting, you're not a feminist, you're fashionable. I'm like, tell you, I wish I wasn't wearing a lined outfit today, that's for sure. Okay, who else would like to speak? Come on, you've got to speak, ladies. Yes. Sorry, is Nancy here? Nancy? They're calling for Nancy? Nancy? No? Okay. I'm going to stand on the step. Oh, I like your flip-flops. Thank you. Sorry, sliders. Yeah. I'm going to put it on that one. So don't know. Right.
I haven't got much to say, but I'm just wondering why we're chopping off healthy body parts instead of treating mental illness. And where do we draw the line? What if these people with mental illness start saying, I identify as a rapist, I identify as a paedophile, I identify as a murderer? Do we indulge that in the same way? If we went to the doctors and said, I identify as someone with 4 hands, can you please chop off my feet and fashion me hands on my feet? What's the difference? What's the difference? You all have a mental illness. You have my pity. Good luck, because in about 10 years or so, you'll all be in the courts claiming against your doctors, look what you've done to me. I now have no breasts. I now have no penis. You allowed this to happen. So good luck. And actually, I will revel in that. That's it. That's it.
Your nails are great too.
Oh, thank you. So are yours.
I knew that was a lady because she had long nails. I think that's how it goes. I'm just going to say, if you're wearing a mask, we can't hear you. We can't hear you behind the mask. So over there, we've got a group of kids. They call themselves, I don't know actually, the Trans Collective Crew or something. And what they want is they want to shut women up when we speak in public. And they want women to be too frightened to go into women-only spaces because there's men in them. And it's like this everywhere we go. And what they also want to do is they want to make sure that you can't go to a pub and you can't have your job without falling to their ideology. And that would be all right if it was just a bunch of very confused, silly children, but it's not. It's also in the police force, in the NHS, in the education system, in the government, in the council. Just have a look at your council policies and you will find evidence of the cult everywhere, quite frankly. And the reason we have to have police here, if you're walking by and you think, why are there so many police in this really beautiful town on this wonderful day? And it's because we can't trust those people not to try and physically intimidate and threaten women, which is what they do. They want to make us too afraid to speak. That's what they do. And they know we're women because that's why they come out. Because I'm telling you, if we were genuinely the far right they claim we are, and if we were a group of men, I'm telling you they would be nowhere near here. They would be nowhere near here at all. But we have to have the police to make sure that we don't get physically assaulted and intimidated by these kids. Because they don't just think that we're wrong, they want to cancel our lives. They want to destroy our lives and our right to speak. So just to let you know, if your child is at Brownies or Scouts or anywhere where your child is, a swimming club, leisure centre, you have to look at the policies to make sure your little girl is not subjected to a space where she is nude with grown men or boys in that space. Because that's what they want. They want there to be no division. So pervy men can come and look at your little girl. That's what they support. They support single-sex spaces being occupied by men wherever those men want to go, which obviously is sexual assault. Because voyeurism and indecent exposure is sexual assault. And that's what they want to, that's what they support. Okay, have we got anyone else who wants to speak? Anyone? Yes? All right. You all right? I'm going to give you this. Okay, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Can we have a cheer for this lady?
Okay, this is the first anything like this I've ever done, so thank you. I wrote this on the train on the way to Newcastle, just because I was thinking about why am I going? What am I doing this for? So I grew up in the 90s, a tomboy, then a so-called ladette. Gender non-conformity in my small town in the middle of nowhere was treated with suspicion, but it was never medicalized. What a time to be alive. Maybe I was just a sheltered fool or blinded by the naivety of youth, but I never felt unequal to the boys around me. Have things got worse, or did growing older just strip away my layers of shelter and naivety? Both, I think, because today, in the year 2025, 3 words that I never thought, I never used to think were controversial, have become dynamite. And those 3 words are, let women speak. Look how far we have fallen. But we're back on our feet now. And that's why I'm here today, for the optimistic girls of the 90s who thought we had a free world ahead of us and today find ourselves defending the very existence of our sex class. I'm here so the girls of tomorrow might feel how I did back then, but this time for it to be real.
Are you all right? That was great. Well done. Well done. No, well done. Do you want to stand up there?
Sure.
Or you can, if you're. Okay. All right. Let me just do that. Are you all right?
I'm a bit shaky. Hi, sorry, I wasn't expecting to speak. because I'm a bit shaky because I was just assaulted at 1:55 just over there. I was handing out leaflets, and a woman scrunched up a leaflet and threw it in my face. I didn't even know what had hit me. Something hit me in my face. I've reported it to the police. They've spoken to the women, but unless anyone's got any video evidence or there's other witnesses, nothing else will happen. And I think we need to be clear, this is what's happening to women. I was up at a Women Won't Preach event in Aberdeen before, and a woman there got assaulted, nothing else happened to it. This is what we have to deal with from these activists, is that they come out to women in the street who are just exercising their legal rights to hand out leaflets, to be at an event, and assault us. And the police, there's many police here, police have been filming here today, but there's no evidence, so nothing further will happen. So they can act and assault women in the street and nothing happens. This is what we are living in, and we should be aware of this. Nothing further will happen from this, the police have said to me, but this needs to be known. What we are up against is just being assaulted when we're ever just out exercising our freedom to speak. So.
There's this odd thing that's happened to the police, and I just want to say to the individual officers, I really am quite grateful that you've come to protect our right to speech, because they, look, where are the police facing? They're not facing us, really, are they? They're facing the people that they know to be the aggressors. But what's happened to speech in this country, if you wear a mask, nobody can hear you, you silly twat. Now we can see your face. He took his mask off. Oh dear, I do amuse myself. I don't even rent that mob. They just come out on their own. I'm just going to describe to you what's happened this morning. Mum, where's my mask? It's downstairs, darling. It's downstairs. It's with the other masks. Mum, where's my... Mum, oh my God, Mum! Oh my God, Mum, I couldn't find my mask. Are you going to have some time off the computer, darling? Have you got time off online? Mum, I just want my mask, Mum. I'm going to go and chat some women because I hate you. Okay, Poppet, as long as you're out for a couple of hours, it's nice fresh air. Maybe you're going to sleep before you watch 4 hours of porn tonight. Okay, have a nice time. Here's your mask, darling. And then they come out and they come and shout at middle-aged women. Like, who does that? Look, if we aren't important, if the words we say are not true, they wouldn't be here. If we were just spouting a load of nonsense, they wouldn't come. If they weren't starved of oxygen through a couple of binders around their breasts, they would have enough oxygen to their brains to understand that they just make us look good. That's all they do. That when you come out, kids, you just make us look good because we're just saying normal words and you're screaming at us and you have silly signs. And can I just say, there's nothing more homophobic than telling lesbians that they need to accept men in their bedrooms. Nothing more homophobic than that. That is a homophobic sign, you silly girls. There are women in this country that had to hide their lesbian sexual orientation because they genuinely would be beaten, and now you want to give that away? You disgust me. Totally disgust me. Yeah, I'm not a feminist. They keep shouting, you're not feminist, you're fashion. I'm like... Genuinely not a feminist, but I am uber fashion. Hi, good afternoon. Okay, does anyone else want to speak? Yes, come on. What a lovely t-shirt.
Most offensive one I could find
it's
today.
Really offensive. Can I just say, if anyone's really offended by this t-shirt, like the man in Glasgow, there's a helpline. You can call them.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I've had a rather strange week this week along this nonsense. I had to go to the hospital this week for a lovely lady procedure. It was a vaginal pelvic probe carry-on. Nice, nice. Well, when I arrived, they took me in and a gentleman handed me a gown. Granted, he wasn't in a dress, he was just a gentleman. And I went and got changed, put the gown on, came back into the room. There was a lady stood with a probe, and then this gentleman decided to just sit and stare at me. So when I asked why he was in the room, I was told he was the chaperone. I was told he was the chaperone because she was just learning. Obviously, this is not something that I was happy with and wouldn't accept. So when I asked for him to be replaced with a female, I was told, sorry, you'll have to go back to the back of the queue and we will have to rebook your lovely procedure. At least I got the option to leave and wasn't screamed at and shouted at, so that's a little bit better than the last time I went for one and was called all the names under the sun. But on a good point, that aside, I'm from a little place called Hartlepool, Monkey Hanging Country. Yes, that's me. And we are actually getting a new leisure centre built. Now, not so long ago, I was advised that I had to go swimming because I have spinal and muscular problems. I took my niece, who was 10 years of age, swimming with me, walked into the changing room to be confronted by about an 83-year-old man with a wrinkly doodah inside his speedos that didn't look very little. Obviously, I wasn't impressed with this and thought I'd walked into the wrong changing facilities. Turned round to my sister, I said, I think we're in the men's. She went, no, Kelly. She said, they're all mixed now. I was like, whoa. So I went out and I complained. And I was told that this was so families could go in and change their children. So then my argument was, why don't we have male, female and family changing facilities? Then I was refunded and asked to leave and called lots and lots of names. Well, you know. But on the backside of that, obviously with the Supreme Court ruling and everything, I decided, right, enough's enough. So I emailed my MP and I actually asked him what the facilities were going to be in the new changing rooms, in the new leisure centre that's being built. And in line with the Supreme Court ruling, does he believe that women deserve single-sex changing facilities? I did get an email back from my MP, thankfully, within hours. He was rather speedy, to be honest. And he has come back and said all the right things, and he has said that in his personal belief, that a woman is a woman, a biological woman, and nothing else. And he is going to be taking it up with my local council, what changing facilities are going to be built, and if they are going to be these changing villages, or whatever it is that they want to call them, that they are legal, and that every cubicle is enclosed with especially a shower, because this was my issue. They were saying that they had cubicles. I had to walk through men to take my 10-year-old niece to get a shower, and that I wasn't having. So on a plus side, Hartlepool MP, I have it in writing that he strongly believes a woman is a biological female, and he is going to be taking this up with our local council, and I will keep Kelly involved and updated with what actually happens. Ladies and gentlemen, I was that masculine female grown up. I would have been instantly transed, played football, played rugby. Everybody thought I was a lesbian, but I wasn't. That shocked them probably more than anything else, to be quite honest. But if I was grown up now, I would be that child that they pushed down that road. And you know what? When I was 9 and 10, if you told me if I got a penis and I could play football, I'd have chopped anything off. Because back then girls couldn't play football, and I would have been indoctrinated. I would have been pushed down that road. But luckily I've got a pretty savvy mum who would have probably just punched me in the face and told me not to be stupid. And on that note, thank you very much, Whitley. Couldn't resist my t-shirt.
They don't like the man that was in with you as a chaperone either. They're booing in support, I'm sure. Okay. Oh, that says it all, doesn't it? Someone just said, horrible character, watch the backstory. This is real life. This is like real people, real things, you know, mortgages, bills, cooking. Anyway, who else would like to speak? because it's very hot and we could all go to a lovely pub. Yes, come on. And stand up here. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Hello, I thought I'd come along today in my racing top again. I've talked about this before, but since it's a nice hot day and I don't actually need my coat on, I thought, oh, I'll have another go. So this is my international cycling jersey from 1997. It looks like the GB flag because I'm British and that's what they gave me. I did actually have to pay for it as well, by the way, because, you know, British sport doesn't get an awful lot of funding. But the thing was, I raced for a whole season, got enough points to get up to national ranking number 5, and it was very short. I was at national ranking number 5 for about 2 weeks. Because it's hard, you know, it is really hard to get up to the top in sport. And the main point is, if there had been one single man competing in women's mountain biking at the time, I never would have got this. You know, I only had 2 international races, and it is the highlight of my life. You know, that sort of thing. It's amazing. Getting to represent your country, it's absolutely, it's just something else. So, yeah, and, but while we're on the subject of sport, I'd like to thank Kellie-Jay once again for that moment in that pool in America where she said, "Who's a man?" Because I think that was the pivot. That was the pivotal moment where everything started to change. Riley Gaines came out, started speaking out. And it all led to all of this, you know, America got all their common sense back, and all the wins that we've had since then, they've all followed on, so thank you very much. And I think sport is not the most important thing that we've had to deal, you know, where we've had to deal with all these silly men, but it is very conspicuous because their argument is, oh, I was born in the wrong body, and a lot of people will say, oh, well, I can kind of understand how you feel like that because we've all seen, you know, we all know that you can have a body with no spirit in it, so maybe, you know, okay, I maybe don't agree, but maybe that's all right. But then as soon as these people start using that body that they've just denied that they want to batter women with, hang on a minute, you've just said you didn't want that body and now you're using it in all the wrong ways just to get a little victory against women that you don't deserve. Cheaters, spotted cheaters, that's what they are, yeah. So, okay. I'm glad I was able to wear my little prop today and it hasn't been freezing like it normally is at Let Women Speak, so, yeah, hands in your back.
I don't think I'm going home, mate. Okay, so I'm going to repeat some of the things I've already said because we've got lots of people walking by all the time and I want them to know why we're here. So my name is Kellie-Jay Keen. This is Let Women Speak. We are a global movement of women that facilitates the free speech of women throughout the globe. We've toured Australia, had a small time in New Zealand, the United States of America, South America, throughout Europe, and in many, many cities and towns across the United Kingdom. And what happens when we go and talk in these places, quite frankly, is very, very silly people with terribly dyed hair. Not peroxide like mine, natural peroxide hair, but terribly dyed hair. And they come out in their very quiet, squeaky voices to try and tell us that we're not allowed to speak. And sometimes those squeaky voices actually belong to very violent and aggressive bodies, and they genuinely threaten us. And in New Zealand, they genuinely threatened my life. Now, why are we here? Well, we're here because your NHS, your schools, your care homes, your social workers, your police, your council, your government, your MPs, apart from the good man of Hartlepool, but they all stand on the side of lies, which is the transgender cult. And what is transgender? Well, it's a set of behaviours. If a woman calls herself transgender, she might take testosterone, which will sterilise her and give her early menopause. She may have her breasts removed. She's usually about 5'1", so she's easy to spot. She will also try and... See, she's a woman. She's a very cross woman. And she stands on the side of fetishists and perverts. So she wants me to shut up, but that's not going to happen. If you're a man calling yourself trans, it is very likely that you have a fetish about being a woman. You probably picked up your fetish by a whole lifetime of watching pornography. And what you want to do more than anything is you want to invade women-only spaces, and you want women to be uncomfortable when you do so. And what they are doing as a collective is they've infiltrated all of these different spaces where women think that we can go, that we've carved out as our own, and they want to totally challenge that, and they want to insert men into those spaces. Which, you know, there's something we call men who want to insert themselves into women's spaces, and it begins with R. But often they're just perverts and fetishists. And what you often see in groups like this is you see quite older men, like socialist worker type men, going around and whispering into the ears of these children, because these children are badly organised. They probably never make anything on time. And you can tell they're badly organised because they can't quite fit the right lettering on a sign. They often run out, so when they sort of write transgender, and the E and the R are really small at the end because they've not spread the letters out properly. And I would just say use a pencil. Try with a pencil first, it would be great. But what they want to do is they want to disrupt the lesbian and gay rights movement and pretend that men can be lesbians. They want to disrupt the gay movement, which, good luck with that, girls. Sometimes you will spot one of these girls in a gay men's sauna, because, you know, there's nothing that gay men like more than vaginas. So I said it quickly. If you're a family, I said it quickly. I mean, we might want to say the word, but they want to obliterate what that means. So I think we're on the right side of history here. Does anyone else want to speak? Yes, come on. I have got a big ego. You're absolutely right. That's why I do this. I've got an enormous ego, because I'm right. Hi, Liz.
And she is right. Hi, my name's Liz Pant, and I'm the third person up here today who stood in the general election for the Party of Women in 2024. I stood in the constituency of Newcastle East and Wall's End. And in Newcastle East and Wall's End, as Kelly mentioned earlier, is the Northern Region Dysphoria Centre. Now that has had a lot of publicity due to a local chap who I don't know if he's here today, Richie Heron. And he exposed some of the appalling treatment that's given to these people. Another speaker has mentioned that these people have a mental illness and they need psychiatric help and psychological help. And people who go to that service are being failed by the NHS. I think it's absolutely disgraceful that the NHS is paying for these services, not just the psychiatrists and the psychologists that are not doing their job right, but the endocrinologists and the surgeons. From the very first time that Richie went to that service, which is in Walker Gate, the psychiatrist said to him, "Do you want to have the operation?" The very first time that he went there. That is appalling. Every time that he went there, the psychiatrist said, "Do you want that operation?" And he said, "No, no, no, no," again and again. He was a gay man who had put up with a lot of homophobia and internalised that homophobia. And that's what he wanted help with. Every time he went, "Do you want to have the operation?" Eventually, they blackmailed him. They said, the psychiatrist said to him, "If you do not agree to that operation," which cutting off your COCK, then we will stop your psychotherapy. So he agreed to it simply because it was the only way that he could continue to get psychotherapy. And he said that as he went under the anaesthetic, he thought, I'm not doing the right thing. When he came out of the anaesthetic, he had been horribly mutilated. He's had loads of repair operations, and he'll have to continue to have those operations the rest of his life. And he said, at 30 years old, I'm incontinent, I'm in terrible pain. Something that you don't think about is when they invert the COCK to produce the false vagina. If you go off the female hormones and try and take male hormones again in order to detransition, the hairs grow back. And he said the pain is appalling. These are monstrous surgeries that are being carried out, and the doctors and surgeons should be thoroughly ashamed. For the women, they are being referred, and I think we might have another party of women candidate here, to the Chelsea and Westminster Hospital, where they perform the most grotesque operations on women. It's bad enough they cut off their breasts, but what they do there, because these women feel they cannot be happy unless they can stand up and pee. That is the extent of the madness. They strip the flesh and the skin off their arms. They then take the flesh off their thigh and put that on the arm in order to repair the arm. They roll up the skin off the arm like a sausage roll. They take the urethra and stretch it out, and they sew that sausage onto their groin as a fake penis. And the NHS has invested money to do more and more of these operations. It is like Mengele. It is disgusting. It is appalling that the NHS is mutilating these young women who obviously require counselling and require psychological help. And I think we need to put a stop to it. And that's why I stood for the Party of Women in the constituency, where they're referring people for these vile operations.
Can't hear you. He's now just wearing a mask over his nose, or her nose. I think it's a woman. Who knows? Who cares? Okay, anyone else want to speak? Yes? Hello. Come and stand over this side.
Oh, I'm so nervous. Hi, thank you. I don't usually speak publicly, so I'm quite nervous. Okay.
Give you the microphone.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Women are facing serious dangers. Women all around the world are facing danger. Every single week, women are being silenced, raped, and killed. According to the numbers reported by End Violence Against Women, every 3 days, a woman is killed by a man. More than 100,000 girls are at risk and living with the consequences of FGM, forced marriage and honor-based abuse. The 69,000 rapes that were reported between October 2023 and September 24 in the UK, 91% of those prosecuted for sexual offences are men aged 18 plus. The biggest threat to women sadly comes from men. The stats are from the Rape Crisis Helpline report. And us women are supposed to focus on a threat that we have yet to see manifest from a small minority from the country. Catherine Grimwich from The Guardian states that trans people make 0.5 of the UK population. They are twice as likely to be victims of crimes more than cis people. This country has seen an increase of hate crimes towards trans people. Using feminism to erase the rights of others and engage in inherently something that is unfeminist. the responsibility of a...
You can speak, but you're not having this because I think you're run off.
No, but I'm
carry on.
about myself.
Carry on. You carry on.
Hello. Okay.
No. She can. Right. Look, give me
No,
the
this is about myself.
I'm going to give it back. Right. Can I just say, this is Let Women Speak, and even though this young woman is wrong, I am going to let her continue so everyone can see just how brainwashed she is. But I am going to let her continue because you do have the right to speak.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, this is not to claim that you are a feminist. I'm saying this about myself and about the waves of feminism that have brought what you all are benefiting from, like the right to vote that was mentioned before.
Yeah.
Which
didn't include men, did it? Didn't include men.
No, but I'm saying that was a wave of feminism.
When the suffragettes fought for the right to vote, it wasn't about men, was it? It was about women.
Yeah.
The people with vaginas.
Okay, I'm gonna
the people with
continue
vaginas.
this. Okay.
The people with vaginas.
Okay.
The people with vaginas.
Using feminism to erase the rights of others and endanger them is inherently unfeminist.
How? Explain it.
Can I finish speaking?
No, explain it.
Can I finish speaking?
Explain it.
Can I finish speaking?
Explain what a woman is. Explain what a woman is.
I'm going to continue what I wrote as a woman that wanted to come and speak. I want to finish my report, please.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to tell everyone what is a woman. No, I'm going to hold it. What is a woman?
You're not letting women speak right now.
I am. What is a woman?
No, your question.
What is a woman?
I have somebody.
What is a woman?
Guys. Can I continue with what I wanted to say? Okay. By aligning yourself with the likes of Peterson, Elon, and Trump, you
Yay! Woo! Donald Trump! Donald Trump!
You empower oh, right. Can you leave me finish this? Can I finish reading this?
I'm not interrupting. I know you're very nervous because you're
wrong.
I am
nervous.
Yeah, so you just carry on.
I am very nervous. So you standing next to me
I'm
is making
standing
me
right
a bit
here.
nervous.
Well, that's tough.
Okay.
So a woman, a 50-year-old woman standing next to you makes you nervous, but
yeah, because public speaking is nerve-wracking.
But a little girl in a changing room with a man is not supposed to be nervous. Is that right? Like a man in a dress. So a trans woman, you'd call it a trans woman. I'll go with your language. A trans woman next to a girl. She's not nervous, but you're nervous public speaking.
Yeah, because public speaking is nerve-wracking.
And what about the 13-year-old girl?
I'm not saying that anything that you are saying it's all very situational. What you are saying, I'm just saying I want to finish what I wrote, and you are standing next to me. You're not standing next to anyone else.
Because when women like you come and do this, they intend not just to speak but also to disrupt. So often they try and break my equipment. So that's why I'm standing here. It's because of the experience I've had from women who stand against women like you do.
Okay, that's understandable.
Okay.
I won't, but I'm just nervous and I want to finish and just go.
Okay, you carry on.
Okay, as I was saying, before I got interrupted many times, aligning yourself with the likes of the politicians like Elon and Trump, you empower the... I didn't finish. You empower the mentality that women serve a purpose, and that's to be controlled and fucked. Men with power can do what they want. Men that struggle to express emotion or are living under the constant financial, social, familiar pressures of what society tells them being masculine is. And all they can do is cause...
Wear skirts?
Yeah.
No?
No, you didn't guess that one. Suicide. Suicide is the biggest killer in men under 50. 125 people die by suicide every week, according to Calm's website. Toxic masculinity isn't telling you masculinity itself is toxic. It's telling you
there's nothing more toxic than AGPs.
Gender norms have harmed us. It is all a social contract. Gender norms have harmed us. You gave the government more control over my body as a woman.
Who did?
Because of your agenda of what the Supreme Court did.
What are you talking about?
Going into bathrooms and checking the genitalia of people.
Right, okay.
Can I finish? I'm not
Yeah,
done.
but you're an idiot. You're a bona fide idiot.
You're an idiot too. Can I finish?
Right, no, right, you can finish. I'm going to ask you this, right?
No, I don't want to
I'm
be
going to ask
tested
you
here.
this.
I want to just
No,
say.
she doesn't want to be tested. She wants to spout nonsense, but you don't want to be tested.
This is free speech. Can I
Yeah,
not
so
say?
what is a woman? What is a woman?
It is a gender.
Okay, but you just said that men are killing themselves. Men are killing themselves. How do you define them? The people that are killing, the people that are killing themselves, right? Who are they? How do you know to identify what they are? Who are they? Who are they?
The statistics were based from somewhere where they identify themselves as men, and most.
So
were
would you say
cis
those
men.
people have penises?
It was cis men, so yes.
Okay, so well that seems a bit exclusionary. So you're excluding men with vaginas from that. Oh! You just there's a practical genocide going on over there now. You've just totally erased trans men from that statistic. That is transphobic, isn't it? Transphobic.
Can I finish?
Yeah.
What I was saying, right, just to describe to the people that are walking by or anyone on the other side, every time I say a sentence without elaborating, you take the microphone from me because I can't
stop us
explain
speaking.
anything.
Yeah, but you're an idiot.
You're not letting me speak.
Okay, what is a woman? Tell everyone what a woman is.
I said what it.
Right, then
Can
you're
I
wrong.
finish?
Okay,
Can I finish
no,
my speech?
because it's too painful and boring. It's too painful and boring. How much longer have you got?
You're interrupting me.
How much longer have you got? Look, if they look, this is public speaking means if people interrupt you with cheering or shouting back at you, that's kind of their right. Right?
You said I can finish my
Finish.
speech.
I'm going to let her finish the speech because this is Let Women Speak. I just want people walking by to know that this is not what most of the people here agree with, just in case anyone gets the idea that we're all a bit insane. So here you are.
Right, thank you. Right, before I got interrupted yet again, I'm sorry.
Fuck me, you're so privileged, aren't you?
Right, where was I? Okay, if she wasn't interrupting me every single time.
Can't be interrupted, don't interrupt me.
Yeah, because you didn't interrupt any other speaker.
Because they're not talking shit, you're talking utter shit.
The shit would be 5 minutes, I would be away if you
Oh,
let
do you
me
think
speak.
they'd let me speak? If I went over there, would they listen to me?
Yeah, but you don't.
Would
yeah,
they?
because that's a counter-protest.
So would they let me speak?
I don't know what the.
No,
I'm
they
not
wouldn't.
them.
You carry on then.
Okay, right.
I'm just gonna let her speak because unlike them, like she doesn't know what she's talking about, and I think it's good for everyone to see.
Yeah, the statistics from rape crisis helplines are definitely made up. Why are you saying this?
Right.
Why are you saying this?
When a woman is a victim of rape, it's all men, including men who call themselves women, that will rape that woman. That the men that call themselves women are not less risky for women. They're just as much, if not more so.
This what you are saying is then causing a generalization, a very dangerous
Men, you just said men. Right, you can generalize about.
Men.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Yeah,
That's
cis men.
ridiculous.
Okay, I'm gonna finish. Right, okay. So I stopped at where the government has more control of my body because of transphobic people like you, and they make millions off of it.
I think she's saying she wants to take.
My last thing I wanted to say is that I feel no threat for any trans person ever. Have I ever felt danger from a trans person?
What about Karen White? Who
I
raped
have never.
people?
I
What
don't
about
know
Isla
who you are
Bryson?
protecting.
What about
You are
Isla
not
Bryson?
protecting
What about
human
Cameron
rights.
White?
Trans rights are human rights.
Yeah.
They are. I don't know who you are protecting.
Women.
You are not protecting
Women.
me.
I
as a
don't want to
woman.
protect you. You go and run the gauntlet yourself.
You're
I'm not
protecting
bothered about
women.
you. Right, have you finished?
You're
Have you
giving the
finished?
government permission to
Oh.
take control and check people in the bathroom. Do you
Oh, don't be so
understand how
stupid.
strange that is?
Right, have you finished? Have you finished your
I
speech?
actually have more.
No, that's enough now.
I have one more,
Oh
I
my
think.
God. It's too boring. It's too boring, and you're too silly. One sentence.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold the microphone.
Okay.
One sentence.
Okay. Okay. So.
See, she's not frightened of women, is she? Because she knows that we're fucking women. Excuse my language.
Okay, I'm gonna say one last thing. I feel no threat from any trans person.
Because I am a privileged woman and I don't feel any threat from any trans person because I don't recognize those trans people as men, even though they have a penis, and I'm going to just pretend that there is nothing wrong with these men, and that even though there's many in prison for sexual assault and abusing children, I'm just going to just pretend that everything is about me and my privilege. Is that right?
Have you ever spoken to trans people? Have you ever engaged?
No, I've never met one. I've never seen a man with like stockings and suspenders frequenting a nightclub and making girls and women feel unsafe. No, that's never happened. I've never read the rape I've never looked at the prisons in this country where the men in women's prisons have raped women. The men who call themselves women in women's prisons have raped women. Okay. No, I've never seen that. Have you seen that? What do you think about that?
I think any form of rape is disgusting.
So those men who call themselves women, are they amongst the people that don't frighten you?
I think any kind of rape is...
The men that call themselves women that are serving time in British prisons for rape, are they the people that you say you feel safe with?
I'm not safe around any men, but that doesn't include... But you're generalizing, you are saying a very dangerous thing that all trans men are now dangerous. They're not dangerous.
You just slipped up because we're talking about trans women. But, you know, it's very difficult, isn't it? Because when you're not speaking the truth, it's very difficult to be accurate with your language, isn't it?
Have you spoken to any trans people? Do you have trans people in your life? Have you spoken to them?
I actually don't think I have. Of course I've spoken to Kira Bell. I've spoken to detransitioners whose bodies have been irreversibly harmed.
So you've not spoken to a trans person that is happy in their life?
I don't. Do they look happy to you?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah, look at that.
What with their sticks and their scars?
All I see is trans joy.
Okay, we're done. But thank you. Thank you. This is... Yeah, how do you know you're a woman? How do you know you're a woman?
I identify as a woman.
Yeah, but how do you know? If I just land from space right now, right? I've just come from space, I've never seen a human. How do I know which are women and men? How do I know the difference?
Wait.
Women and men. Yeah. Women, I'm from space. How do I know the difference between a woman and a man on this planet Earth?
The way you are socialized.
No? Okay, so what? So what would be the indicators? Give me 2 indicators of a man and 2 indicators of a woman.
Well, this is where things like gender norms come into place, how you raise your kid.
No, an example, concrete example. I'm an alien, I don't know. I want to know, how do I identify who is a man and who is a woman? Like with your metrics, because, you know, we could all be wrong and you could be right and it could all be about identification. So I'd like to know, how do we know whether we're men or women if our vaginas and penises don't make any difference?
It's just the way you... Hello? Oh.
I think it died.
Oh.
Hello?
Good.
Just like your common sense. Anyway, have a nice day.
Thanks. Right.
Hello? I think we've got one. Can you turn the... Don't touch me. Don't fucking touch me.
Okay,
Don't ever touch me. No. Shame. Anyway, so that was good. Can we take a picture of that nurse? It's a bloke. That's a man. Is it?
I think you're amazing. There's a hashtag behind you. And this is a symbol of Whitley Bay and all the women.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, right. So that was a good lesson, wasn't it? It's very difficult to listen to these women when they're, I mean, it's painful, but I think it's really important for the people walking by. How do you know what a woman is? Oh, identity. Oh, gender. She couldn't name it. Do you know why? Because she knew it would sound ridiculous. Thank you. Everything suits me because I'm stunning. Thank you. I'm Marilyn Monroe if you ordered me from Wish. Or if you're partially sighted. Okay. Are we? Yes, come on. I think one of the speakers died, but we can still hear. Okay. Are you right? Yeah. Oh, no, you do it.
Hello.
Oh, you've taken testosterone. Your voice is screwed.
I just want to remind everybody that a woman is an adult female human. And you see this flag, you'll notice there's some blood on this flag from a woman. And the reason there's blood on this flag is because she was attacked by men pretending to be women. We know they're a danger. Men are the ones who rape, even if they're wearing a dress. Men are the ones who cause us significant harm when they're in our spaces. A man going into a woman's space where he shouldn't be is a predator. Whether he's doing something for his own fetish or whether he's actively doing something to damage women. Men who invade the boundaries of women are predators. Women and little girls have rights. Women and little girls are females. We know what they are. We know what the men are. We know what trans women are. They're men. And they have no right ever to be in a woman's space, a woman's service, a woman's sport, or to take away women's opportunities. Now, we've heard from a couple of other candidates. I was also a candidate for the Party of Women. And we seem to have quite a few here today. We're doing well. We're winning. The more people hear about the disgusting transgender identity ideology, the more they reject it. That's shown through the massive change in public attitudes from 2020 to 2024. One of the biggest things you can do as a candidate is you can raise awareness. In my constituency, there was 11,000 people that I was able to let know what was going on. And I will do it again. I would urge anybody to consider we cannot stop now. We're winning, but we cannot stop or things will roll down. We need to keep pushing. There is no compromise. There are men and there are women. And women, adult, human, females. Thank you very much. Fuming.
Okay. Well, they didn't stop us talking, did they? No, they didn't. That's something else they lost at. I don't think they know that I never lose, kids. I never lose. Anyway, so, except the battery on that. Hello? Oh, no, that's all right. Is it this one, then? No. Oh, they're both working. I thought they'd gone. I just partially deafened myself. Okay, so I'm going to say the words that I didn't say at the beginning. So if you have small children and you haven't taught them about body parts, you're about to hear some. So we came here to say, today, we came here all the way to Whitley Bay. That's many rhymes. No woman has a penis. No man has a vagina. There's no such thing as non-binary. And transitioning children is profound abuse. So, we are now going to go somewhere lovely where there's cold beverages, which will be nice. They can't stop us from doing that either. Look, if you can keep starting and continuing these conversations with all of the people in your lives, particularly people who have children at school, particularly people who trust the state in any capacity to look after their children, whether it's in a hospital, school, social club, wherever it is, please let them know what's going on. Keep having those conversations, and if you can do that, I promise we will win. If you can hold to account your police force, your NHS, your MP, your local government, your education system, if you can hold them to account and make sure they uphold the rights of women and girls, I promise we will win. And do you know why else we're going to win? Pardon? Because I never lose. So I want to say thank you to all the hormone guzzling morons that came, made everything just so much better. Let's go and have a look at them. There they are. We can see your face. We can see your binder. Right, okay, thank you everyone. I'm going to switch off the live stream now, but thank you so much everyone. I'm not going to stop the live stream for a minute. I'm just going to take everyone over to the kids. We have to pack up.
Are you just going to walk over?
Yeah.
The police are just asking us which way we're going.
I don't know where the place is. It's over that way?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, fucking, just one moment. I will in a minute, not right now. So, there's the kids.
So whereabouts in God's country are you from?
Should we have a look?
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Are you going to come? We're going to go somewhere. Ask someone in a red. Ask someone in red. Yeah. Just one moment, just one moment. Hey kids, oh, you're welcome, you're welcome. Can't actually see. So these are the kids that came out. Hi kids! Okay. You're so fucked. You're so fucked. No. We came and we spoke, so thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. There's a guy over there in a burqa, I'm sure. Anyway, that's the kids. That's the kids. Right, we'll see you later, kids. Bye.